these politicians are treating us bad. We need to down tools. So it is like that, a vicious circle. Catch 22. It never ends. That is why some people are saying, may we bring cutlass or knife or may cut this circle and go for something that can actually deal with these myriads of problems. So don't pity them. They are watching me right now. It will shock you that some of those people who are singing there, they are PDP members, they are APC members, and they are also school teachers. They know politics more than anything. They know how to rig election for any of their favorite politician or political party. When these politicians now comes in, they deal with them. Guess who actually feels the brunt more? The children whose education is completely ruined. And that's what you have in Yoruba land. That's what you have all over Nigeria. And then, yeah, they cry. They cry like they didn't contribute to their own problems. And I keep saying that, you see, elections have consequences. When you see professors pretending not to be able to read election results, now fraud. That's what they do. How many of you remember all those ones who were reading election results in 2015, in 2019? Professors, so they said that the university lecturers are unpaid. Now, university lecturers are, ASU, ASU is university. University lecturers are unpaid right now. Since from 2015 to 2022, ASU strike have claimed more than 2 years, 24 months of your own education lifeline. Do you understand what that simply means? It is deliberate. Once you are completely miseducated, then that is why you will begin to defend certificate-less people, because they have already messed up with your brain, messed up with your education, they have messed up with your income, they've messed up with your capability, they've messed up with your opportunities. You are just now pretty much like a number, a statistic. And what do you do to survive? Anything that comes your way. Yes, we have seen it many times. You see educated people defending criminals, drug runners, 419ers, certificate forgers. You know what I mean? Ex-convicts. They will be telling you that that doesn't matter. Do you know how many people these people have been helping? Because they deliberately made you poor. Awolowo thought education will make us kind of, better off. But look at what those who succeeded in Western region of Nigeria, those who are preaching one Nigeria to you, now they have turned us all to what? They want to turn us all to Alumajiri beggars who wait for the Rankadede leaders. Hey, Jagaba, hey, but all those Rankadede mentality, they are on Yorubas. They are never Yoruba way. But look at it today. They have become part of all this Agberoism, the type of education they give to us. It is sad, though. I'm just telling you that that wasn't the vision of Awolowo, and there's some lesson to learn from here. A lot of lesson to learn from that. You are destroying yourselves every time you shout one Nigeria, one Nigeria. It is simply because you have no idea. Look at this Indomie generation. The Indomie generation, especially the ones that are from Yoruba land. I was reading on social media the other day, and they were arguing that Tifnumbu, they said this Indomie generation, this 1999 demonstration of Grace Pekino, they said that Tifnumbu, if not for Tifnumbu, would build Lagos. Omo, no joke, serious argument. Then you now saw, I now saw the Lagos Abobakus, the Agbayas, the Elebiala Tenujes, old men and women. They were also like repeating that, if not for Tifnumbu that built Lagos. I say, you see what we are talking about? If you don't read your own history, they will manipulate them and give you the one that the adulterated one. Imagine, Indomie generation on social media arguing that Tifnumbu built Lagos, and somebody said, "Oh, how come Tifnumbu that built Lagos couldn't build a single hospital that would take care of him? That they have to take him to America, take him to London, and now they've just taken him to France to go and get medical attention. Because they've manipulated them. And for those who are benefiting from the rot, from the manipulation, it is always good to probably make it look like, yeah, it's true now. If not for Tifnumbu, Lagos no get water. You did there, say you no get water. You are called the state of aquatic splendor. Is that not what they call Lagos? Eh? Aquatic splendor. Tifnumbu built Lagos. If not for Tifnumbu, let everybody go and build their state. Omasheo, Omo Yoruba. You have no water. If not lie, just say it. Oh. And let me tell you something, It is sad that the situation is the same everywhere, especially in Yoruba land. Water, we then talk say no get enemy. Lagos, the center of aquatic splendor. Water. But there is no water. Somebody was talking about Iju Waterworks the other day. And they said the builder of Lagos, how come una no get water? How come that everywhere you turn around, you turn to, people where they sell water, selling water. Imagine, selling water to people. Borehole. I'm talking about water you have to use in your home. Boreholes everywhere and all of that. And they built Lagos for you. There is nowhere, no state in any part of Yoruba land that you can say, oh, come on, come to Ibadan. We have running water. No. Everybody have to be theirs. But back in the day, when we used to have water corporation, when you used to have your water bills sent and the rest of that, Lagos, 2022, they don't get water. You still have to see people pushing trucks, selling water in jerry cans in this 2022. But Indomie generation born to suffer heads. Somebody who build that kind of Lagos for them can build a beautiful, better Nigeria for them. Somebody said that a place that you cannot. They said that Tifnumbu brought Enzon Abemron Abi waiting that they call them to Nigeria to give you electricity, and they said, but Lagos State have no electricity, which is true. Nowhere in Yoruba land have 24 hours electricity. No part of Yoruba land of today in Nigeria can boast of 24 hours electricity. Nowhere. But they built Lagos in that shito that they built for you. You have no road. You have no real, healthcare system. You have no real housing. You have no real social system. No social care system. There's nothing that is really significant to say, oh yeah, but we have this now. You have nothing. You make them up in your heads, and then you believe that can be reciprocated. Awolowo had something to reference when he thought he wanted to liberate the North. In his own memo, in his own book, he said, I could have liberated the North. So, for some of us who have read that history and who have also learned from that history, we are now asking ourselves that how we wish that Awolowo Chief Obafemi Awolowo actually concentrated all those energy into, after getting independence, right, that we have an autonomous region of Western region, begin the process of getting us out of Nigeria completely. It would have been a great idea, but that didn't cross his mind, I believe. The success he recorded in Western region, which still speaks to this day, most of those legacies destroyed by the rogues who now parade themselves, past and present, who parade themselves as Yoruba leaders. Those legacies destroyed. So today, if there's something I have to learn from that history, it is not for me to encourage anyone from Yoruba land to think that they have something to offer Nigeria when we are living in squalor. Reality. They destroyed healthcare. When Awolowo was alive in Western region back then, King Fahd of Saudi Arabia and his entire family, the king of the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They were using UCH Ibadan, University Hospital Ibadan, University College Hospital Ibadan, UCH. They were using that as their own foreign hospital in 1958, 1959, all done. Yes, that is your history. That was how great it would have been if we had concentrated all our resources, all our energy into propagating a nationhood. I mean, for who we are exactly. But Awolowo and his own action group team, the politics of that era, thought that they could build a country with those who had no plan of building a country, but a fiefdom. Now, all those things that Awolowo thought that they were going to actually end in northern Nigeria and bring them to power with you from southern Nigeria, guess what, right? The longer we stayed back now, we have now been contaminated with that same virus of Rankadede. We are not using Rankadede in Yoruba land. We are using Oraisa. The people who are stealing your future. That's exactly what they had. So then you'd say, our leader, we are waiting for our leader to tell us what to do. That is completely on Yoruba, not our way. But it has now sort of, it's always been the way of those who formed that northern Nigeria as their leaders at the time. So if you're watching me right now and you are pretty much like in that habit of, but it's because you are not using your senses, because you have been fed with the wrong history of who you are. Awolowo said, when the northern Nigeria and their people, when the people of northern Nigeria were waiting for the dictates of their own fundamental backward leaders, selfish leaders, he called them. In the south, we, the citizens of the southern Nigeria, were already engaging and arguing with kings in Yoruba land, especially. Yes, because we are educated, we could read, we could write, we could differentiate from what is good or bad politically. We are conscious politically. Education brought that. But today, people are dumber because the criminals who took over after the time of the era of those Awolowo and the likes, yeah, the criminals who took over, they what? They infected us with the virus of servitude that the northern Nigeria represents. And today, yeah, it is not just you, the citizens of southern Nigeria, who have now been subjected to second citizenship, it's servitude. Your politicians are also the same. They have to go to northern Nigeria to prostrate. They have to go to northern Nigeria to win validation. They have to go to northern Nigeria to win endorsement before they can even represent you as a senator or represent you as a lawmaker. It is all because of the mixed and messed up education. So if you don't learn from the history, you are bound to repeat it. And that's why people like us will continue to. We know the ignorance is so much right now, especially among the younger people who have been fed lies all their lives. But look at me very well. There's nothing going on right now that hasn't that never happened before. The only reason why they are pretty much like happening again is because we have never learned from it. Yeah. So sometimes you ask yourself and say, man, we wish that the late sage Chief Obafemi Awolowo never see his vision, never took his vision of the people beyond the region that is managed, to have people who understand that we're not supposed to be servitude and then be all these things they are telling you today, that Yorubas have to be very, very respectful. Yorubas are very, very respectful, this and that. It is an adulterated illustration, okay? We are very respectful of people who earn our respect on different fields, on different choosing the careers of theirs. You must have made an impact before you will earn the respect of an ordinary Yoruba, educated and intelligent Yoruba man or woman. Honestly speaking, that's who we have been. Awolowo wrote that down there. We argue with you, even though we see you as a leader, or you are, acknowledged as a leader, but that doesn't mean that you have to throw bullshit and nonsense at us. We'll question them. We have always been like that. We've been like that for 60 years ago. 60 years ago. Think about that. Talk less of words today, 2022, that we should be more educated, more enlightened, and at the same time more intelligent than what we were 60 years ago. 60 years ago. But sadly, the rogues who took over from Awolowo and then at the time, yeah, and the rogues who are parading themselves today, they have made us more dumber, and it is deliberate. It is intentional. So they call people like us confrontational. You know, you are so confrontational. You have no respect because you shouldn't be respecting criminals. You shouldn't. Criminals also grow old. Foolish people also grow old. Stupid people also grow old. Does that mean that when they grow old, does that stop making them sound stupid when they are still sounding stupid? That is who we have always been. We question everything until until what you will say, next time can determine if you are going to be able to afford to feed your family tomorrow. Until what comes out of your mouth, you have to be very careful of them because they can determine if you are going to end up dead or you are going to end up jobless or you are going to end up with your business ruined in Yoruba land. That was gradual. It wasn't sudden. It was gradual. Then you started seeing the ass lickers getting rewarded. Ass lickers, they became spokespersons for intelligent people like the Yorubas. And it was gradual. It was gradual. And then now they have done a serious and terrible job that they have miseducated millions of other young people who came after them, and they are still doing it today. And the ignorance is so far reach. Now you begin to ask yourself that when are we going to really catch up? Criminals grow old, foolish people grow old, and that doesn't stop them from being foolish. You don't take advice from foolish people. You don't respect stupid people simply because you want to be politically correct. So if you don't learn from your history, you will repeat it again and again. And that is why people like us are saying, look at them today. Because Steve Numbu wants to be president, they have to deny, they have to lie about all the atrocities committed by this, committed by this APC, especially Boko Haram. Now, let's call it a party loyalty. Party loyalty. Should party loyalty also cover the part where your people are being killed? Should it? It is beyond that. It is selfishness. It is greed. Awolowo said, these northern leaders will regret it. I am saying it to you today that the southern leaders who claim to be political or religious or whatever leader they claim, they will also regret this their selfishness, this their self-centeredness, because one Nigeria is a selfish agenda. It is not for you. It is not for me. It is not for any of us. You see, because nobody can define the one Nigeria than the owners of Nigeria. Others are just pretty much like a unity beggars. No one can really define it. And when you ask them to do, they automatically go into rage, anger, unexplainable, rage, because nobody can really explain it. I've done so many series on here to make us believe, to make us see more why it is a pure waste of time if anyone tells you that they have one agenda, they have one idea that is going to make Nigeria great. It is a pure fallacy. Seriously. We have seen those who tried, but if you pay attention very well, it is never a workable thing. And for them knowing that, they decided to veil that. They decided to cover that with this one Nigeria baloney. So Awolowo tried 1959. At some point, he thought it was now in their good book. He tried again in 1979. You can't do it. Now, why they are making what really breaks out these days that everything, give me a sec, everything that Awolowo thought would never happen to the people of Yoruba land at the time, preventing that from continuing in northern Nigeria. Like I said, we have been infected with them today. Yeah, we have. And the contributor to this are now saying they actually want to continue that nationally. And you, as a young person, you don't see that as a threat to your life, to your existence, to your future. Well, I learned about how political decisions can be a threat to my life, to my future, based on their policies and their association and what they have done. And when you look at all those who are proposing the one Nigeria, it is still pretty much the same agenda of robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then, yeah, we can build one out of this rumble. It is not going to happen when the fundamental things are never really addressed or being avoided as they have always been doing. You can't fix a country. And I mean, most importantly, the criminals who destroy the place, destroy the country, can no longer be those who claim to want to fix a country. That's where you should begin to ask the questions of, about your own kind of, your mental, the state of your mental health as well. I have done that. What is the state of my mental health? To believe that the criminals who brought us to this level are also going to also take us out of the how. So what they have done mostly is that they have succeeded in making us see through the lies. And they are now probably trying to silence us, to make us feel like what we have seen is not what we have seen. It could be something else. In fact, let's try something new. And that's where the contradictions started coming in. And they have now said, well, not only said, they have now turned self-determination struggle into a treasonable crime, something that they can't even prove in their own courts. So talking about those who felt like they could save Nigeria, abandoning the real people who made them or bring them to prominence, only for them to come back in regret or even join them in making it worse. So many of us feels like we have seen the truth, we have seen, the obvious, so to say. So how then should we continue to lie to ourselves or pretend that it could be the other way, or what we have seen is not what we have seen? So we said that if the likes of Chief Obafemi Awolowo had probably never bothered themselves about trying to bring the northern Nigeria to the main, what do you call it, to this vision the one Nigeria where everybody is so educated, everybody is, developmentally oriented and the rest of that. No, he discovered that, but it was too late for him to take Yorubas out of the arrangement and the contraption before his death. So why should we, the generation that have seen that, the generation that have read through that, the generation who have seen through the players, those who actually hang on, the generation that saw the chance, the generation that saw a chance of taking us out of a possible doom if we continue to coexist in the same country where their own idea is completely so far-fetched from what you as the leaders of the forebearers, our own forebearers. So we were like, if there's anything to learn from that history, that should be how to tell this generation who are still here now and those coming after us that do not engage or get involved in the charade of trying to save Nigeria. Awolowo tried twice. He saw the truth and he saw why it's never going to happen, right? And it was too late for him to take Yorubas out. So those who have now been milking that gap today, when they say one Nigeria, trust me, it is not in your own interest. Awolowo saw through that. So why should we then waste our own life in trying to hide this from the sons and daughters of Yoruba land? That listen, if there's any energy you should put together If there's any interest that should be your interest, there should be something that you should go to bed and think about, dream about, and in fact, write something about and preach about. So to say, it should be your journey out of a contraption that is a mismatch from the word go. No matter what they say to you today, it is a complete mismatch. And it is deliberate. That's the point. It is totally deliberate. It is not just, you see, mistakes can be made. You can make mistakes. You can and correct your mistake or learn from your mistakes and all of that. Yeah. In Nigeria, wherever you are witnessing today in Nigeria, is deliberate. Just a moment. Grant. So when if our our forebearers who sat with them, all right, who sat with their leaders and they put all this down enough, it points us to, I mean, they are pointers to say, why should you ignore that from your history? Why should you pretend that by saying, let's come together, let's be one, and the rest of that, yeah, is enough? And then ignoring the obvious differences, right? The ones that should normally have been the foundation to determine if you still want to be part of this or not. When you are ignoring that and you continue to shout, let us come together, let us all come together for now. You can't come together when you don't even have the reasons why you want to be together. You don't come together simply because you want to elect a personnel. You don't build a country because, I mean, you don't come together and build a country simply because you say so. So there's so obvious difference and disparity here. And the effect of that is that we rather all just stay poor and accept our fate. And that is not our fate. So unity begging and the rest of that should never be part of what we have learned from our history. What we should learn from our history is to make sure that you don't become a unity beggar in a contraption that is a complete mismatch, a completely disjointed. Don't ignore the obvious and then begin to chase a shadow of emotion. This country is bigger. We are stop those emotion, please. It simply means you are not learning from the history. And if you don't learn from history, you will repeat the same thing again and again. Boy, man, generation of every 10 years, you get this generation breaking into the to this adulthood of a reality. And every 4 years, you witness this. And guess what? I mean, so every 10 years, rather. That's like a waste generation if you think by merely saying, let us love ourselves, let us come together. That's it. So nobody can save Nigeria. Nobody has intention of saving Nigeria. Everyone just want to take their own shot. Everybody just want to have their own chance. You know what I mean? It is turn by turn Nigeria Limited. But guess who are those who are paying the supreme prices? You and me, who have become the pawn on their chess table. So Awolowo said it was deliberate. Today, many young Yorubas, Indomie generation, some of them, they don't even have shame. Urgent 2K. So please, if you go on Twitter right now, you will see young people who opened social media to argue about Wizkid versus Davido, to argue about Ronaldo versus Messi, to argue between APC and PDP. And then when they are not doing any of that, they are busy dropping comments everywhere. Please, can you just can you they have this popular line, urgent 2K. You see all those urgent 2K. That is no longer in vogue. Please, can you just buy me lunch? I've never seen the most shameless, ridiculously shameless generation whose future have been so mortgaged by the same rogues who have made them disinterested in the politics that actually decides if they are going to lead a better life or not. Urgent 2K. About, can you buy me, please, sir? Random people on social media, can you buy me lunch? Can I quickly get urgent 3K? I need help. The generation that cannot have a conversation, political conversation, and understand how politics actually contributed to the poverty that they are currently experiencing, they have no idea. A miseducated, poorly educated, or stark illiterate generation who have no idea what life is all about anymore. Now that is something that if Awolowo was still alive, Awolowo would say all these political criminals in Yoruba land, they will regret it for destroying the foundation that Awolowo said was what we needed: education. Education will let you be able to make decisions that you'll be able to compare the consequences before you take them. Today, our people are now poorer, right? Like Okunu said, very poor, that you can't even imagine it. And then they are living in denial. So you have this generation there that you believe that we just need to continue to educate them. They also need to understand the consequences of the actions of those who abandoned them for what they call the national politics or whatever they want to call it. It is not in your interest. One Nigeria is not real. It is a mirage. You are going to find out eventually, and you are going to acknowledge it as well. And you are going to know that it is deliberate. It is not by accident. It is not because of your sins. I've told you this many times. Everything you are witnessing in every part of Nigeria today, they were imported from northern Nigeria, policy-wise. It is deliberate. And it is all possible. It all came, I mean, all of that become possible because they abandoned, or let me say, they ended or destroyed the regional system of government for this one Nigeria, one divided Nigeria. Somebody is saying that you should vote for Peter Obi. If you like, vote for Obi Peter. As long as your agenda is that you're one Nigeria, you will soon discover that you are only, you are only contributing to what it says eventually going to kill you. That is what Nigeria is. Keeping Nigeria one under the status quo that you have today, no matter what a politician tells you today, right? It is your own way of contributing into your own self-destruction. There's absolutely nothing it's going to do. Awolowo jumped from his own region, where the affairs of the people was paramount. It was so successful that he couldn't wait to actually take it further and secure the lives of those who are today entrapped in that Nigeria that you are now praying for Peter Obi to come and help you change. It's not going to do any jack. But that could be a start. That could be the beginning. Why not? Well, Nigeria, they missed it then. It will be sad if some of you don't know the significance of you being dragged into participating in an election, right? That you don't stand a chance of making any meaningful difference at all. The frenzy, the movement, the all of that, they are good, very good. In fact, very, very good for this moment, whereby now we have been able to ignore PDP, APC, Egbekegbe. People are beginning to say, oh, we have an option, we have an alternative. But guess what? Like I said, it is not that you can shout this one Nigeria, the way many of you are doing right now. That is not it. You are ignoring the obvious division, and you are telling yourselves that all we need now. No, you have no idea of what you need yet. You cannot ignore the obvious division, the differences, and say, once we do it this way, we'll be out of it. That was what they told some of you in 2015, wasn't it? Toby said something that actually kind of interests me. And from my own experience, where I know that politicians, they will say anything and everything, just just to get your attention and get you to, you know, probably listen to them or even give them their your backing. Well, it's good enough that he's the only bold one that actually said that, because he could. He acknowledged the fact that self-determination is not a crime, which is true. He also admitted that if he was the president of Nigeria, he would never be sending killers after the likes of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Sunday Igboho. He would rather engage them. And that is to say, Peter Obi himself knows about all these peculiar differences. And he knew then that as well that Nnamdi Kanu is not out here from the blues, if not because of the total disparity and difference on fierce and unjust structural existence of a Nigeria, which has made many of us second-class citizens in a supposed place that should be our own country. Peter Obi know about all these differences, and he said, I would never have to send people to go and kill or arrest or anything. I would rather engage them. And that is where he said that if the country is running fine, agitation will reduce, and that is the place that is also wrong. People have learned the fact that keeping Nigeria together is not in the interest of the indigenous people that actually make up of that contraption. You get what I mean? So people have discovered that, and there's no going back on that. In a way, as we said, Nigeria has pushed people into realizing that Nigeria is not for us. And many of us who have actually, researched deeper, we've realized that, well, whether you want to admit it or not, their own type of jihadist Islamic Republic of Nigeria is where you are currently living, whether you want to admit it or not. There is ongoing religious genocide going on in Nigeria. There's ongoing tribal ethnic cleansing going on in Nigeria. All of these evil acts, they are all intentional, and they are all imported from northern Nigeria by the rogues who actually want to make the entire Nigeria a copy of the northern Nigeria, something that is brewing and breeding resistance everywhere. So yeah, that's the truth. It wasn't meant to be one. And when it is not meant to be one, right? The ideal thing is to discuss why is the differences, and then let's part this ways honorably, and let the jihadists that Awolowo said did not mean well for their people in 1959, let them have their peace and make it easier and stop all this unity begging, so to say. So history should be teaching Tifnubu as we speak. What is he offering them? You as a southerner who wants to be president of Nigeria, what are you offering? You want to what? Make Nigeria a Dubai, a united contraption, or a now loving place where people are no longer going to suspect themselves, or a place where people are no longer going to be profiled according to where they come from, or a place where people are no longer going to be to be lynched or killed for blasphemy against one religion or the other. Hello, whatever they tell you, whatever they drag you into, keeping Nigeria one is not in your own best interest. Discussing our differences and deciding if we still want to be one or together should be something that should be at the topmost of your heart, your mind, all of you watching me right now. If you pay attention very well, if you learn from history, if you pay, like I said, if you pay detailed attention to history, you realize that if you learn from that history and you don't want to repeat that same history, no matter who is at play, as long as it affects or concerns in Nigeria, if you don't want to, the ideal thing is to work together and then encourage at least a conversation. Let's start with that. A conversation to decide, do we still want to be together or not? I can bet is that if a conversation around the referendum, a conversation around the self-determination, autonomous region, and every other thing that people have thrown out there to tell you how much they have been so kind of displeased and disjointed from this arranging contraption, right? If you throw that out and say, oh yeah, let's discuss it, then people can decide if they still want to be part of it or not. People need to decide if they want to be part of it or not, than for those who will tell you it's all sorted. Don't worry, don't worry. We are together, we are one. We are not. No, we are not. And that being one or not should be something that is open for debate. So, as a young person, do not waste your energy. Do not waste your time in hoping or thinking with your emotional roller coaster, with what they are feeding you with right now. All the enthusiasm and the rest, they are good, good for you. Enough that you could probably be part of your own experience about how and why Nigeria cannot be fixed. Nigeria cannot be, no way. Eh? Maybe this will be part of your own experience as well. But how about understanding or learning from the history that I've just told you now? It's so important, because if you don't learn from history, you are bound to repeat it. And this time around, or from what we have known, repeating or repeating from an unlearned history has become so fatal. We have seen our people die. And then when you look around and see those who are claiming that they want to fix Nigeria, you ask yourselves, like, what do they want to, where do they really want to fix? You have Nigeria, and then you have what? You have two rules in one country, one for the north, one for the south. The one for the south is considered as the law for the country. The one for the north is considered as for the Sharia north. And then you want to coexist in that same arrangement without actually discussing it. That is the problem. So doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result is being recorded as a symptom of insanity. You, as a young person watching me today, critical thinking, emotional intelligence that I spoke about before. You see, people not having empathy, talk less of having sympathy for others, is all deliberate. Conditioning people to be like this. My friend, shut up your mouth. Jagaban is going to be our president and the rest of that, because you are conditioned to see it that way. Atiku is going to be our next president because you are conditioned to see it that way. Peter Obi is going to be our next president. You are conditioned to see it that way. But there's nothing new. It's all just pointed to one thing. You have not learned anything from your history. You are not ready to learn anything from it. You are pretty much proud to repeat every of the mistake of your history, only to come back here again in when? In 4 years, possibly. Crying again, maybe you would have discovered another fancy person. Yeah, another fancy person. Oh, this person is going to save us. This is our savior. This is our this and that, because you are not learning from your history. Hi, Mayegun General. I have managed to dedicate my time to remind people that we won't have to repeat the same mistake again and again, and then expect a different result this time around. So we dedicate the time to ensure that those who knows are never in any way manipulated to go astray again in this old contraption. But we have it here. If you want to learn from it, if you're a Yoruba man who have all it takes, right, to liberate us as Yoruba people, to encourage us as Yoruba people, to come together and get ourselves out of this contraption, use it, do it, because you will be what? You will be making history yourself. But if you're one of those who are pretty much saying, it is not time, it is not time, that's what they told your parents, remember? Yeah, they told them that it wasn't time for them to actually fight and push out until they are no longer able to fight. They will use you as a bargaining chip. Being part of Nigeria makes it easier for them to continue to make you a bargaining chip with the rest of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, and the rest. But you can stop that. With the right education, with an informed mind, you can stop that and stop believing the lies, because one Nigeria is not real until the time that they put this before every one of us. Okay, I can tell you this: we have many of us also who agree that being part of Nigeria is not in the interest of the Yoruba people. It's not in the interest of the people of the Western Nigeria. And if you are in doubt, people say, let's put it in the table. Let's put it out there. Let the people decide. How about we start with that bogus, fraudulent constitution? Start with the one that people will say, yes, we said, we the people, that comes with all the details of if they want to be part of Nigeria or not. Then you throw it open to them and say, oh yeah, decide if you want to be part of it or not. And then see, before you can begin to say that the people have decided. That is how to build a country where people they will know that they have they have their own, they are stakeholders in it. In Nigeria of today, nobody is a stakeholder other than the gatekeepers from the north to the south and their own turn-by-turn colleagues and the rest. So tonight I decided to drop this simply because I was reading this book, Why My Presidential Ambition Failed, and then the vision of Awolowo and every of their own wonderful ideas, the characters that worked with him, things, his failures, his disappointments, his successes, and all of that, his successes and all that. So I was like, I'm going to share that with you. Tifnumbu is joining using the Yoruba name. Others are also joining using the names of their region and all that to say they want to save Nigeria. No, they can't. If you have any success that you have recorded, at least in this day and time, if you indeed actually love your people, you will rise up. You will demand for the peaceful and then, gentle, easy, breakup of Nigeria from the current stranglehold arrangement. And you should let the people decide. That's not too much to ask. But if you don't agree now, they also make peaceful change impossible. They will make violent change inevitable. This is where I'm going to draw my curtains. I'm going to see some other time. Right? Good evening.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àníyàn súnra kì í.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì í. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé, gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.